Feliz Navidad, everybody. Welcome to Show to Be with Mike G, the show of a life, the show of Spain, the show of serving, the show of doing retail at Twins Liquors in Texas. Today's guest is Jessica Tantillo Barnard. I gotta tell you, I completely mispronounced that name when I first read it. Tantillo, I wanted to shine it up, fancy it up, but it's Tantillo, a classic Italian name, Jessica tells me. We talk about a lot of great stuff, and obviously Jessica is a huge music fan, so we get to nerd out about The Cure, we get to talk about Weezer, we get to talk about lots of different things, but she has a very amazing journey in this marketplace, if you will. Drinking spirits, selling spirits, cooking, doing line work, all of that stuff, and she's been a lot of different places. I think you guys will find it pretty intriguing. And without further ado, why don't we give a listen to my interview with Jessica Tantillo Barnard.
Music was probably my first love.
Yeah.
In like the creative realm, but I mean, other than like garage bands in high school, or like boyfriends, telling me to play keyboards with them or like,
Yeah, it's like, hey, you'd be a good keyboardist.
Exactly. And like, can you sing? No, not really. Yeah, you can sing. You can sing background. Back vocals.
We'll just turn the mic low.
Yeah, exactly. And so, so that's, I mean, most my closest friends in my life are probably, based on music.
Yeah. It seems like that's a common theme. And I also feel like music, a lot of people that I talk to and a lot of people in the industry, music is essentially composition. And so composition is this culmination of notes. It's a combination of low, medium, high, which is no different than making a cocktail or making a spirit. So it's really no surprise that you would say, well, I was a producer or I played in a band for 20 years. And so now I'm going to come into the spirit side of it. Because it's really just transferring that knowledge of melody to a different thing.
For sure. I mean, I think that, before I was into this industry, I mean, the only outlet really was that.
Yeah, for sure.
It was like to see, I always had, I think I always look up to people. I mean, even now in this industry, but like then it was people in bands and music and that realm. So that's kind of where you got your vibes from, like where you wanted to go. And so I knew that I always wanted to kind of go in that direction. I always kind of leaned sort of towards this sort of dark brooding atmosphere.
Would you say goth even?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't like this.
Was that how you were dressing in high school?
I wasn't this crazy, complete goth girl. I mean, I definitely had my moments listening to The Cure, all night.
I went on record as saying Disintegration put me to sleep every time I tried to listen to it. But
exactly, I definitely had those moments.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that I mean, that was the thing about music and just bringing it to what we're doing now. Like I went to any genre of music that I was feeling at that time. So, and so it kind of reminds me of like booze or,
It makes you feel a certain way too. Mm-hmm. It's strange because like The Cure isn't necessarily, and I like The Cure a lot, but it's not necessarily the best solution for an upbeat spring album.
No.
Right? Like you don't listen to Elliott Smith in the summer typically. No. Like at least for me, I don't, Right. And it's the same thing with spirits, although I try to be an equal opportunity drinker, but some things are just rum, for example, or at least light rum. Mm-hmm. It's a playful thing in the spring and the summer. A lot of people tell me too with gin that they really appreciate it in the lighter months. And it's just this mentality we have, and we kind of couple art with that.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah. It's so strange how it works like that, though, right?
It is weird.
We just get affixed to it. Like, I only drink bourbon in the cold months. It's like,
right.
Well, not only are you selling yourself short, but I get it. I totally get it. The deep kind of baking spices and all that stuff. Well, so kind of an interesting tangent, but you posted about, I love the Beatles, and I love talking about which records people are really they're attached to. And so Help is high up there for you, but you were seemingly apologetic about Help being up there.
I think that probably mainly because one of my friends posted that him and I we have a lot of the same musical tastes.
Yeah.
And so I think that I have told him that Revolver is my favorite album many times.
No one would question that, because Revolver is it.
He was like, what? So I was like, okay, I was a little impaired. I think that was after the USBG party.
Yes.
That I was listening to Beatles albums. And so...
but Help, is there not something about Help that... It's Paul's record.
It's Paul's record. And
it totally is. I'm a Paul.
Fan.
I'm the Paul.
Yeah,
my hair is just because of Paul. Which is good, because Lydia likes Paul a lot, and that just happens to work out for me. Because if I was a John, who knows what would happen? We'd probably be arguing all the time.
Totally different.
But there is something about Help that is, it's the soundtrack to the movie, but there's still just these glimpses of really like pop genius. Well, I guess that goes without saying with any Beatles record, but a little bit more different than Hard Day's Night and Meet the Beatles.
It started getting everything kind of just started coming together, I think, and the melodies, and then you were hearing some of this more just kind of this genius come from them. And so I think that, and also them taking influences from other people, obviously Dylan and things like that. So it's Hide Your Love Away on Help? Yes.
It is, right? Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite
heartbreaking
songs
song, yeah. What's the About Last Night? What's that song called?
It's not
the McCartney
called
song?
that,
but you know what I'm talking about.
I know
And that's
what you're talking about.
Great fucking song.
Yesterday is on there.
Jeez. Do you So interestingly enough, one of the great reasons to go to London is that the BBC will always play documentaries about the Beatles.
That's why I need to go to London.
That's the
I've
main
never
reason.
been.
Just watch BBC.
Yes. I'm crazy, into, British Invasion.
Absolutely.
Music
Kinks, the Buzzcocks, New Order, whatever, right?
Yep.
But
Absolutely.
we were there recently, Lydia and I, and we're in between the sightseeing of the day, which I think we caught an Egyptian exhibit at the British Museum or something, and then we got a couple, an hour where we're like, get ready, and we're watching BBC for a little bit. And so apparently, I thought this so intriguing. Paul wrote yesterday. However, he wrote it because he dreamt it, and he thought he dreamt it because it was another song that he knew. And so he plays this song for, I can't remember, his family or girlfriend or something, and he's playing Yesterday's. Fucking Yesterday, right? And he's like, oh yeah, this is that other song. And like, no, we never heard that song, Paul. And he dreamt it. It was truly unique and just spontaneous. Yeah. And he wrote one of the greatest songs ever because he thought it was another song.
Wow.
What a dick, right?
Yeah. What an asshole.
Every time I hear stories, so Dave Grohl's got a story on Mark Maron.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson's got a story on Howard Stern about fucking hanging out with Paul McCartney. All this stuff drives me nuts. Because Woody Harrelson's I was hanging out with Paul McCartney and he just started playing Sun King on the acoustic guitar. What I would not give.
Did you see him live?
No, I can't because he auto-tunes live now.
Yeah.
How was it, though?
I didn't see it either.
Tober talked about it.
Yeah,
He was totally into it.
I should have went.
Yeah. It's just sometimes we only have a couple other chances, and I don't know how much longer Paul will be around. I hope for a decade and a half, but it's one of those things. That's it, man. He and Ringo. I'd party with Ringo, but talk to Paul.
Sweet.
It's totally different. It would be totally different.
Yeah.
All right. So the Beatles stuff out of the way, but so you're still comfortable with Help being up there?
I'm still comfortable with it definitely being a close second behind Revolver.
Something about Revolver is just too perfect.
It's, to me, I think I'm a huge psych fan too, so it has all that psychedelic stuff going on.
Yeah, with the sitars and everything, and the backward guitars.
Yeah, and then George Harrison
just coming into his own.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was post San Francisco, if I recall, where he watched everybody.
And he started. I mean, that they were getting influenced by all these New World kind of that sort of the rubbish.
Yeah.
But
well, no. Sorry, I was gonna say Ravi Shankar, but I think that was a little bit later.
Yeah.
But.
But they were getting into that, and so it was coming through the music, but like not, but in the best possible way.
Beatles, obviously Beatles they're fodder for hours upon hours of conversation.
Yeah, we probably could talk for hours.
But here's the like strip all the way the music, which is instantly familiar, often chilling. You like listen to Eleanor Rigby, and it's like, how did they make 7 days a week and then make Eleanor Rigby, which is influenced by Psycho?
Yeah.
Right? Like, how do you do that? But the thing that no matter like how dynamic they got, or like how rocky or how experimental or how shitty with Bungalow Bill or whatever,
yeah,
when people look at Gandhi, they see the archetype for peace.
Sure. And
when they look at the Beatles, they see the archetype of love.
Yeah.
And how were they able to do that? Not that was like the biggest question anyone will ever pose you, but how did they do that?
I mean, it's. I guess that's like any in so much music that you really like, but the Beatles are able to do that on such a grand scale where like everybody loves them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just obviously it's in the music more so than them. I mean, obviously John Lennon became a huge outspoken activist for love. But, that was later. I mean, really. Yeah. And so I guess that was just coming through. And I think that, drawing this back in to what we're doing now, I mean, you can taste love in a spirit.
Absolutely.
Or you can feel love when you walk into a bar or a restaurant.
Yeah.
And so I think that what attracts people to the Beatles is that you just feel it. You don't know why. You just do.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I think mezcal is a great example too. Well, we'll chat about this bottle in a second, but mezcal is somehow it's just unencumbered by human frailty and all of our shit. It's pure, and it is the extension of the earth to a bottle, and I can't explain it sometimes.
It's insane, and you don't see. I mean, I haven't been to Oaxaca, and I haven't seen mezcal produced, but even just to go to tequila.
Yeah, because you just got back. You were doing the Fortaleza with Chris, I hope.
No.
Oh, he didn't go?
No.
Damn it.
Unfortunately.
That dude, you talk about music. That dude is like.
Yeah, but I went down there and I didn't know what to expect. I mean, my beginning was wine, and so, I've been to many wineries and things like that. But it was the first time I went on a liquor excursion, if you will, and felt that sense of place, and sense of the agave that it's coming from, the person that's making it, the fact that it rained last year and that it didn't. So it became really, I fell in love with it. Like now it's all we're drinking in our house.
It's strange. There's something heartbreaking about it.
Oh, I mean, they struggle.
Yeah.
Tequila is poor. It's complete opposite of going into, I mean, I don't know what an example is, maybe going into like the Bourbon Trail or Kentucky, or I mean, these are glorious,
huge operations. People, it's been commercialized, corporatized.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And Fortaleza was, I mean, he comes from the Salsa family. I'm sure he has money if you know his story.
Yeah.
But he hit the ideals and the values are still there. And of course you have Corvo and things like that. But it just still was there. It reminded me a lot of, again, I go back to wine, like going into Champagne and seeing, okay, there's corporatism here, obviously Moet and Piper and, but there's all these little conglomerates of, grower champagnes and they're just, I mean, literally, stone houses that grow the best Grand Cru you've ever tasted in your life, and it's $30, so
kind of we're looking at each other like
exactly
that's pretty good. That's pretty inexpensive.
So
Well, so to contrast, then I'll say this because I don't want you, because I know that you work in retail, but you work in just not distribution necessarily, but you deal with what I consider the best retailer in Texas, mind you. Twin has been like a wonderful partner for us, and anything that they can do to subvert specs, which is kind of like not let me say it, it's like a mob cartel. It really is. And you don't have to agree with me. You just enjoy the mezcal, but specs is...
Imagine what I'm saying.
I'm muttering under your breath. But there is something that has been lost, in my opinion, in the modern craft. God, I hate that I even have to qualify it, but the modern craft movement in America, you go to Oaxaca, or I have not been to Jalisco, but I've had a very similar experience.
Mm-hmm.
You get some people they're connected with the land.
Yeah.
They're connected with the product, and their artistic and creative vision is what's expressed in that bottle, and their passion and their experience.
Yeah.
It's something that's really, really connects you with them, as if somehow we were all connected in some kind of network, right?
Yeah, that's what drives us.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's why I wake up every day and do what I do, which sounds so cheesy.
No,
but,
it's not. That's a great reason, because to contrast it, I feel like since Texas is its own economy, we could just focus on Texas, but we're losing that connection.
Absolutely.
To the art, to the land, and I personally have done some things that aren't necessarily connected to the land, but I've done things that are connected to the land. But
right,
how do you feel the industry is going to, how is it going to fare long term if just so many people are just about moving another bottle and printing another label with a scantily clad woman on it? I mean, how's that going to work out?
Sure, I see it. I see it every day. Like you said, Twins is a large wholesaler and retailer.
So glad
Texas.
You guys are getting into Houston and Dallas. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's awesome. One of the reasons why I am with them though is that they still have it's kind of talking about those ideals of in that vision of still trying to stay small, and it's hard. I mean, every day. And I think it's hard for, the industry as a whole to like sit there and say, well, we're not going to take money from this XYZ brand.
Right. It's a difficult place to be.
When, they're telling you they're going to sponsor something and they're signing a really hefty check that's going to pay your, employees' bills, and it's going to pay yours and and
make
then
things
some.
easier.
Right. Exactly. So, I think that we always have to maybe like step back. Things like this are awesome because you do go back and you remember, hey, maybe what brought you here.
Yeah.
Like you said, okay, music and feeling the love from that, and then wine, and and Twins being a great company. Yeah, everyone has their issues, but like being just to stand behind something is maybe just to try to not forget why you're in it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Sometimes we operate and we do. Mm-hmm. But sometimes we don't sit back or take a step back and say like, well, actually, this is why I started doing this in the first place. Yeah, many a good romantic comedy has started that way, right?
Exactly.
But do you think that not the industry, like the big guys, are always going to be okay because they've got the capital and the resources and stuff?
Always be okay.
Yeah, but how do you feel? The little guy, how do you feel about those medium-sized guys? They're just putting out everything to appeal to everybody. Do you think that's gonna work for them long term?
No, I think that it's starting to. The industry is changing a little bit.
Yeah.
I see that the smaller guys are coming up and they're doing insane stuff, and people are seeing that. People are still wanting quality over quantity. Look at everything that we do. I mean, people on like social media, what you see is never, the big names. It's always like,
well, they can't. That's the thing is like they can't really be that agile as a big company.
They can't. And so it's when you see a great bar in town, what they're excited about. Yeah. And I think the best bars in town, and I try to service them and make sure that they're okay
Yeah.
in what they're asking me for and what they're upset about, and it's always usually something that's
You're
really
a counselor, aren't you?
yeah. Oh
Trying
yeah.
to bridge that gap. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry that we don't
Yeah.
have this thing.
That's well, I think we're in the hospitality business, so you just want to make people happy, and that's the unfortunate thing, is that we have so many people in this industry wanting good stuff, but there's not a lot out there. So
It's strange, right?
yeah,
Like there's lots of stuff.
Yeah, but it's all
But how much
allocated.
of it is good?
Right, exactly.
It's a really hard question to answer.
There's lots of stuff. What is good? And I think that people also, just to help the industry, like just believe in what you think is good.
Yeah.
And I think that's, again, like, you are gonna succeed in whatever you do if you just believe in what you think is good.
One of my favorite quotes from Lemmy is that raise your flag, man.
Yes.
Who will salute it will salute it. That's paraphrased, by the way.
I know
that's the
exactly
point.
what you're talking about.
From I think it's the Decline of Western Civilization Part 3. Lemmy's like, raise your flag, man. See who salutes it. And that's such a great thing, because it's totally how it works.
It's totally how it works. And, I think that we get caught up a little bit. Austin is still small. Mm-hmm. I lived in New York, and it was such a big city. And, I mean, yeah, there was stuff going on there. When I was there, it was like 2008, 2007. But you didn't really, like, there wasn't just this one little scene. It was like,
I'm sure
it was like this humongous scene, and everybody was kind of like into. It reminds me more of music, like when I lived in Houston, and you were a big part of a music scene, but like you had your skinheads and your your ska kids and all that.
I didn't realize you're from. I knew about the New York bit, but I didn't know you're from Houston. So where would you say is the place you grew up?
Oh, I grew up in Tomball, Texas.
Tomball. Do you know Paul McGee?
No.
Yeah, so Paul McGee is one of the prestigious tiki people of our time, and he lives in Chicago. He's three dots and a dash.
He's from Tomball?
So it's either Tomball or Humble.
Okay.
But same difference. Sorry. Yeah, but it is. And so, like, that's something, and he's, we haven't talked in a long time. He probably didn't even remember who I am. But yeah, he's from one of those small kind of Texas.
I knew a girl with the last name McGee. Maybe it was her brother.
Oh, that'd be funny. I think he has a sister, yeah. That's crazy. So I spent some time in Katy. That's where high school and all that bullshit. But when were you living in Tomball?
I was born and raised in Houston, and I moved to Tomball when I was 3 years old.
Oh, so that's like
I lived in Tomball from 3 to 18.
Man, how was high school in Tomball?
It was awful.
Why? Because of the country element? Or?
Oh yeah, I mean, then it was country. Now you go there, it's suburbs. But then I think it was 4,000 people.
That's crazy.
98% white.
Yeah.
And it was. I mean, I grew up on 2+ acres of land next to cornfields and. Is a creek, and
were you tasked with some duties there?
No, mainly like feeding the animals and stuff. But it wasn't. I mean, it was more like my dad's dream. Like, I'm gonna go out and buy property.
Yeah.
And
do you guys have horses and sheep? No,
we never had. We never did. Our neighbors all did. But my dad just had like a garden. And
that's so cool.
Built a pond. Like dug out a pond. Yeah. And so it was a great place to grow up. I can't say enough for that, but it did.
Were you able to feel, what's the word, multicultural? No, because it's so homogenous, right?
I mean, but there wasn't like, I mean, I look at it now, and I never felt racism or or that, if there was somebody of, different demographic, that they were anything different.
It's just whatever, right?
It was pretty loving community.
That's great, yeah.
Which was great, but
were you big into music? I'd imagine in high school.
Yeah, I started. I started thinking about like where did it change for me? I mean, I think in junior high, I kind of started running with the wrong crowd, and so.
What does that mean in Tomball? Because I have a feeling it's not as bad in like Houston City proper.
It could be as bad. It could be not as bad, or maybe worse.
Yeah.
But it just was like I think, I said earlier, I feel like I've always just been, I'm not a bad kid.
Yeah.
But like I've always been like drawn to just kind of dark.
To the riff-raff.
Like, yeah, just edge. And so, there's this girl and I remember she was painting her nails with white out. And I was like, I want to be her friend. Like, she's just cool, you know? And so, but with that, I mean, it was my dad catching me, behind the, movie theaters with some kids that were up to no good and smoking cigarettes and, so
it's not that bad in retrospect.
Like, it was not bad at all, but like maybe in 6th grade, you're like, okay, you're going. So they sort of like kiboshed that really fast. And actually every weekend we kind of started going into town, so I think that they would like drive me into Houston because they didn't want me to hang out with these kids.
Which it's fucking Houston.
Yeah.
You end up in Montrose at Numbers because that's a different deal.
Well, then I saw this whole new world and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, this, and they would go to restaurants and they would, and so I think that's where I saw that there was this whole other world, and I was really attracted to like that, like
when
going out atmosphere.
Was this like early or mid 90s, late 90s?
Yeah, I graduated high school in 2000.
Okay.
So,
so
94, like 95.
For sure. Oh, there's lots to do then.
And, and they were, they were really, I ended up, I found some friends that they liked, but they were into music.
Yeah.
And so their parents were they wouldn't let them do anything. So my mom and dad would actually drive us to shows to like Fitzgerald's and
Fucking
the Abyss
Fitz,
and stuff.
Zelda's, the Abyss. Oh, the Abyss. I missed the Abyss.
I know.
So bad, but it was such a fire hazard. They had to close it down. That's what that's how you know a venue is good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so good. Do you remember the oven and the mausoleum? Oh yeah. That was like our first show ever.
Oh yeah.
It was at
that was like everyone's first show, I think.
They would fuck whatever. Yes. I remember, oh man, the dude's name was like Mason maybe? I had to track him down at an antique mall that he worked at and give him a CD. And that's the only way he would let us like consider to play at the mausoleum, in 97 or something. The
mausoleum was awesome.
Oh, it was such a great place. Yeah. The oven too. It was so hot in there.
It was
a
an
big
oven.
Pizza oven.
Yeah.
Oh, it's changed so much too.
It has. I mean, that was so when I thought Houston was cool. Like I didn't. Now like when I moved away, I realized everyone hated Houston.
Yeah.
And I thought this was like the coolest playground ever. I mean, like all these venues, and I think at that time Houston had a pretty good music scene. And,
it was pretty good. I'm trying to think who was really big at that time. It's hard to say who would always book big shows. Oh man, I'm trying to think because when I moved to Austin, there was some.
Yeah. There was like a kind of rockin' scene, and I mean, I followed it. Indian Jewelry was a big band that came out of there.
Absolutely.
And that kind of behind that, there was a collective there called Hands Up Houston that booked
Ryan Chavez.
Amazing shows. Ryan Chavez. He's one of at that time one of my closest friends.
No shit.
Yeah. So
wow, Panic in Detroit, right?
Yeah, Panic in Detroit. Yeah. And then, all these bands around there.
I've never met Ryan Chavez, but I've always remembered his name because he'd book shows for us. Yeah.
We need to bring him in here. I'll set that up.
That's so amazing. And didn't he play like drums for Jet to Brazil or some shit?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
God, another band that's pretty big, but I can't think of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's always been, I don't know. I
remember that
now.
when that started. He's what?
I don't know what he's doing now.
I don't either. Yeah. I've lost pretty much any connection to the Houston scene and all that. But that's it, man. It was a good time. It was like kind of thriving. It was the cool thing too is it was really brethren to Austin. So like we would play in
always
Austin,
going to
Austin
shows
bands.
here.
Yeah.
I felt like Austin was my town too. And then there was like this camaraderie that I don't know, maybe I'm just old and I just don't think it's there anymore. But
no, it's maybe it's us getting crotchety and shit.
Right.
But I agree. Like there was this
there was an emos in Houston. I don't know if people knew that. There was an emos there.
At the drive-in playing all the time. Yeah.
80s night.
Yes.
It was
it was
a good time to live in Houston.
It really was. Man, those
So
suckers lost out. They like totally
yeah,
missed out on it now.
for
Well,
sure.
so you're in Houston for a bit. You finish up high school. You said in 2000. At that point, did you stick around Houston, or is that when you had
I went to
headed
college. I went to college at University of Houston.
University of Houston? What were you
So
studying?
I studied hotel restaurant management.
Oh,
So
there you
like
go.
I knew that I wanted I well, there was a time where I wanted to be I wanted to work on a cruise ship when I
Yeah.
was like in elementary.
Really? Why? Why
Because
then
my
does one
parents
know that they want to
my parents watched Love Boat, and I
love
was like, I
boat?
want to be Julie. I want to be the cruise director. And my parents like started going on all these cruises, and I was like, this is it.
Did you go with them?
Yes, I
Oh,
was
that's
like,
crazy.
I'm gonna travel, and I'm gonna work, and it's gonna be awesome.
Isaac's gonna make me a Mai Tai.
Yeah. And then I remember, I don't know who told me this. Maybe it was my dad. He was like, well, University of Houston has a hotel restaurant management school.
No kidding.
That would be good for that. I mean, I heard this like in 5th grade, and I was like, that's it.
So you just sit stuck with
And
you.
I just did it. I just went, and
How was it?
it was good. It's a fun school.
Yeah.
I mean, you do everything. You learn, I mean, you work every year. So, I mean, I worked
Yeah.
in restaurants and hotels and bartending, serving, front of the house, back of the house.
Yeah.
And then I realized like I don't want to work on cruises at all.
What was the moment? It's like, this is
when
too
we-
rocky. I'm
we
gonna
were
get so sick.
I was like, what was I thinking? Which is funny because Kristen Vogel, who used to work with Glaciers
yeah,
here,
yeah.
she worked on a cruise ship.
No kidding.
Yeah, and I was like, what? That was like my dream. She was like, it was.
It's not so
yeah,
good.
it wasn't so good.
Those landlubbers.
Yeah,
Just basically.
but we went on a cruise like in high school. It was like booze cruise, and it was just terrible. Like everyone was sick on it, and I was like, I don't want this. And then I also started getting like really envious of my 2 best friends were with me at the time, and they were in restaurants, and so I was like, I want to do that. I want to go on that side of things. And so I graduated there, and the Cliff Notes version, I moved to Spain.
Wait. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I lived in Madrid.
So you finish up the hospitality. Let's say it takes 4 years.
Yeah.
2004.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I took me 6 years, but 2004 too.
Yeah,
Nonetheless.
surprisingly.
Yeah. And so you end up in Spain.
In Spain,
How?
Yeah.
You end up in Spain.
I was running. I don't know. I was at that point. I realized I didn't want to be in Houston anymore. So I just was like, what am I doing? I guess from going from Tomball to Houston was pretty big, but then I kind of got bored with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I went to Spain at that moment. I just knew that maybe I wanted.
Was it somebody? Did you know somebody out there?
I did know somebody that was living in Madrid. But I was just like, I just want to do it.
Get the fuck out.
I just want to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I did like a semester abroad thing, and
Yeah. In Madrid.
yeah,
Proper?
in Madrid, and learned Spanish, and
Did it stick? You
and
still know
have
Spanish?
lost it all pretty much.
All I can say is
Yeah.
that I can kind of say Araqueño.
Yeah, Araqueño. Yeah, there you go.
It's, all I know is Spanish is
I
mezcal
can't roll
names.
my R's very well.
Dude, I can't either. And I think
God.
it's because the water's pretty cold,
Yeah.
so it kind of stubbs up my mouth. But. So how long were you out in Spain then?
Like a summer into fall, so 5 months about. So
Were you working in a kitchen there?
I didn't. I actually picked up. I went in. There was a little bar that I kind of became like friends with the person that was living next to me.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Come pick up shifts." So I like bust stuff there.
Oh, it's crazy.
And that lasted. I don't even know how long. Like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this. I couldn't speak Spanish. I mean,
Yeah.
I started understanding it, but I couldn't, someone would say something to me really fast, and
Yeah, which is different,
yeah,
right? Like, to
yeah.
take it in, but to give it out. It's like a whole
right.
other-
So I think it was there that I really fell in love with this. I mean, what we're doing now
Yeah.
and it was really wine at the time, and food.
A lot of amazing
Yeah.
food. I mean, pulpo.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
I was eating like I'd never eaten before. I thought I knew what good food was,
Yeah.
but it was, and my best friend Tracy was living up in Barcelona, so we would meet up every now and again. And she was having this. I mean, she grew up like we have parallel lives. We grew up in Tomball in the country.
So you've known her that whole time too.
And so she, you know, her and I, it just like clicked.
Wow.
And I guess, you know, it was the typical experience going to Madrid, girl in Madrid or whatever, you know, American girl in Paris. And
is it as seedy as one might believe?
Yeah.
Because I'm a guy, so you know, like guys show up, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be like a great thing. I'm gonna score all the girls, and then just like 5 months of nothing. Like, but for women, you know, it's often different.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a girlfriend that actually like married a guy that she met over there. I mean, so yeah, like
great.
There was, you know, it happened. I don't know. It was just weird. Maybe do people still do that? Like, do people graduate college and just go to Europe?
I don't know. I just know that I watch Love Actually every Christmas season. And that one Brit goes and he scores with like Denise
I didn't
Richards
score when I was there though.
Oh no,
I didn't. I think I like made out with somebody at a nightclb and I felt bad about it because I was like, this. I didn't even.
That's not why you went out there. Right?
That's not. Yeah, like I was like, this isn't what I, you know, am here for. And then I had a friend that was living there, and he was just, you know, he was really into the party scene there, which is crazy.
Is it crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy. And so like, you know, every time I go out, there's just like, here's some happy pills.
Pills.
Like they have smiley faces on them. I'm like, nah. So like
is this a laxative? Because this has happened to me before.
So like I obviously have fun there, but mainly I was like kind of like head down. Just like I fell in love with food and wine.
The culture, right?
Yeah, and the culture and like being by myself and like being alone and lonely and you know, missing home.
The
but
Cure comes to mind again.
Yeah,
right?
I got really goth when I was there. I think actually that's where I got more goth and started wearing black all the time.
Really?
Interesting.
Is that a thing in Spain? Do people wear black?
No, I just
they don't, do they? Yeah. They're all wearing red and
right.
Running from bowls.
I don't know. I think it changed me. It kind of made me who I was.
So why'd you come back?
Like
actually, somehow, like I'm offended that you came back.
No, I came back. I came back for a boy, kind of. I mean, yeah, we can say that, but
no, that's good. That's not a bad. You know how many lives in great American novels are?
Yeah.
The impetus is a girl or a guy.
Right.
I mean, it happens.
Right, and it was great because I realized that I wasn't in love with him anymore when I came back. And
wait, so were you guys together and then you went to Spain?
Yeah.
Was it a Houston guy?
Yeah. It was like the sweetheart. It was
the college sweetheart?
high school sweetheart.
Wow.
Like it had been an off and on, like we're best friends. It was just like that. Like you know.
Well, so were you so this begs the question then. So going to Spain, which of course you're doing because you want to immerse yourself in the culture of food and wine. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, were you running away from having to figure that out?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would do the same thing.
I mean, we were together for 10 years. So it was...
Wow.
Yeah.
So you come back and you're like, I think I've got a new lease on life.
And I think I wanted to be with him and like just live this simple kind of life in Houston and, you know, maybe, you know, work in the industry here, do food and wine here. Yeah. And then, so I did.
You tried.
I tried it. And
how'd it work out?
I was miserable.
Was it too?
I missed Spain.
I don't want to use this word, but was it just too small? Because you go to Spain,
right?
And at some point you're like, I think I'm pretty worldly.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit larger than what our scope was in our relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just ran its course.
Yeah.
You know, and it was sad. It was like, it's still sad to me, but
why is it so sad? Isn't it progression?
I like to dwell. Yeah. You know,
well,
I like to be sad sometimes.
Back to the Cure, the third time this conversation.
So I mean, and
being
I just
forlorn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I just was like, you know, that. Right, it's romantic to have that like sad,
I mean that's what drove everybody to kill themselves or write a good poem. I mean that's how it goes, you know.
Right, exactly. So, But it was like it was the best possible thing that could happen to me. So I decided the best way to run away again was to go to New York.
Mm-hmm.
But no one was having that. They were like, no, my parents are kind of conservative, and they were like, you need to do something with your life. Like, what are you gonna do? New York is not the answer. And I was like, well, it is if I go to culinary school.
How'd they feel about that?
They were ecstatic.
That's good. So like back in school?
Yeah.
Cool. School's
Yeah.
a good thing.
They were just sort of like, okay, they kind of questioned it, but they were like, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I want to do this wine thing. I had worked at this restaurant in Houston and did, everything there and was like, okay, I found that if I go to culinary school, it will like really round out my experience.
Yeah, on
And
paper that
then,
makes lots of sense.
And
for sure.
and that was, I had always kind of been instilled like school. You have to have this. When really now I look back and I'm like experience.
Yeah.
But and so I went to New York. I moved to New York.
When what year was this?
Gosh, 2007,
Okay.
2006.
Good time for
Yeah.
cocktails and stuff then.
Yeah. And so it was really fun because and before that I had met my now husband. So I was just really happy. I was just super like in love and
you're like going to New York, no attachment.
No attachment.
To pursue the creative dream.
Right, and
which
so
makes you totally receptive to love at that point.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Oh,
that's
I
what
was
found
like
out.
I was like Ronnie, like like automatically I love you and I love the world. And
that's amazing.
So I went to culinary school, and then while I was working there, or while I was doing school, I was working at a place called Astor Wines.
Astor, yeah.
Yeah.
I get emails from them every day because I bought some mezcal that I legally shipped to Texas.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, I do in some cases illegally ship mezcal to Texas. Thank you very much.
You gotta do.
That's totally, you have to.
You do. I've done
If you're
it
not
too.
industrious, what are you?
Exactly.
I guess that does pose a problem when you're like, wow, to what extent, to what lengths will you go to get mezcal?
Yes.
The answer is pretty much any length.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, like we packed 6 bottles of tequila in our suitcases from tequila.
Yeah.
And one broke. That was pretty bummer.
I broke a bottle of Havana Club on my way back from London.
Worst.
I wanted to have some kind of service
Mm-hmm.
for it, but luckily it was the cheap bottle that broke.
Good.
Thank God it was the $17 bottle or whatever.
I felt that way too because it was Fortaleza, and if it was one of the, there's this tequila called G4 that's incredible. And
yeah.
If it was that, I would just have cried. So it was good.
Well, it all works out in that sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so you
exactly.
were. What's that?
6 said exactly.
Yeah. It was funny because it broke and I thought that I'd contained the spill and I had a couple clean shirts still in my luggage and I was like, oh, I'm just around the house. I was kind of recovering from jet lag and I was wearing one of the houses. Like, God, this house smells like rum. And then it's just me. I'm drenched in rum. Yeah. I'm actually really good afternoon, frankly. It was quite enjoyable. I really, really liked it. So were you doing cooking and stuff too?
Yes. So I worked at Astor and honed my, I guess, wine skills there. Yeah. And then I started cooking. So once I graduated culinary school, I
Is that a 2-year?
Yeah, it's a little under 2. And
is it CIA?
That's up in what's that town called? Up north in New York.
Oh, okay.
So gosh, I'm losing it. But yeah, Tracy went there. The girl I went.
Your parallel life?
My parallel life girl. But so we, so Ronnie and he actually moved up there. So my husband now, he's from Houston.
So, but you met him in Houston?
I met him in Houston, but like we didn't really get together until New York City. He came up there and then that's when we knew. Because when you have a relationship in New York City, you move in together. Yeah. That's because that's
good. Do it.
It's half rent, right? Yeah. And so
well, it's functional.
That's why.
If you ever think about Mike and Jess in a store, it's like, wait, they already were split, right? It was just easier to get married than to find another place.
Honestly, that's how it works. And so, thank God we got along and then some. But so life was good. I graduated culinary school and then I was staging trailing with like Gramercy Tavern, Kraft, and all these big places.
Yeah.
And Kraft had a restaurant called Kraft Bar, and the chef was opening a spot in Alphabet City in Lower East Side called the EU. And so I went and worked there, which is funny because that kind of has a lot of Jessica and Michael hung out there, and Kristen Childs.
Did you ever run into each other?
No, I'm sure that I was like shucking oysters as they were like waiting for a table.
It's so strange.
Because the Garde Manger was like right there.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's so many people I've met in my life that was like, yeah, like I've been there. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you were like there.
Just within yards of each other. Yeah, it's so strange how that works out.
For sure. And so I did that. I mean, I moved along with the chef for 2 years, and it was good, but I hated it. Like, I hated cooking.
Why?
It was so stressful. It was like the most stressful thing. It was like Hell's Kitchen. I mean, like, pots like thrown at you,
noises,
like
yelling.
You suck, you asshole. Like, I mean, and I was just. I mean, I'm kind of a chill person, so that was.
Totally the antithesis.
Too much for me, and I was just stressed out every day, and I mean, I worked, every position, and it was great, but my chef opened up a place called Elitaria, and I guess this was 2007, but he it was funny because that's the bar of Elitaria was Lynette Marrero.
Yeah.
And, and so she was doing it. And Tiki Brian. And, so all these kind of kids that went into Death & Co. And,
so cool.
And other things. And it was just like starting, obviously there's Milk and Honey, but like all this stuff. And so she was doing the bar, and that's kind of when I started seeing that craft movement,
because there's so many elements of cooking in it anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's funny because that restaurant ended up closing in the crash, but like they ended up being way more known for their cocktails, than their food, which was not. I mean, the chef was brilliant. It just was.
But sometimes something you
people
can't
wanted exactly.
You never know which song's going to be the hit. Like, you just keep chipping away at it. So did you ever do bar backing or bartending?
Never did. I mean, well, actually, there was. I mean, just for fun, all the cooks kind of helped behind the bar and stuff. Like one night, and we like kind of did a switch. But I mean, it was so close that it was really. I saw what they were doing, and we were sitting there like juicing limes together, and like my lime was for like a congee that we were doing or something, and hers was for like cocktails. So, we were, it was such a family, and then just to kind of see where like that went.
Yeah.
And I left New York when Elitaria closed. We were kind of done with New York City.
What drove you to Wits End on that?
I miss Texas.
Well, Texas has got its thing.
Yeah. Like, I missed it. I was, like, jealous whenever anybody, like, talked about Texas.
Yeah.
Like, I'm, like...
And Houston it's funny, you leave and then Houston starts to get cool.
I mean, exactly. And then people were talking about Austin. Like, then Austin was, like, the best place on the planet.
Sure.
Like...
Still is.
It still is. Exactly. Thank you. I agree. But, there it was like someone would talk about Austin, they were talking about like
would you feel like kind of heartbroken, like, oh, that's like, the one I missed.
I know Austin, and I like would try to like chime in, they're like, yeah, whatever, like so. But no, I know, but I know. Yeah,
hear me, please.
I was there, so I mean, I didn't know. I knew I wanted to go back into wine because I was done with cooking. And Austin I didn't want to move back to Houston.
Yeah.
And so...
you guys totally... Did he feel the same way?
No, I think he wanted to stay in New York.
What was he doing?
He's a nurse.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, he was working at New York Presbyterian up there, the Columbia Hospital. Yeah. And so he was loving it.
It's fine for him.
He was making a go of it. And they make good money up there and all this stuff. And so,
how was that conversation to like get him to come back to Houston or Texas?
He was cool. Like at the time, I mean, I look at like our relationship there, like we just were like, I think we didn't really truly learn each other until we moved to Austin.
Because you're just keeping your head above water.
I mean, I was working 6 days a week, and his job was nights, and we were just like passing ships in the night.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was cool with it. He got a job at Dell Children's, and
amazing.
They gave us like a little bit of a moving
that's great.
budget, and next thing you know, we're
when were you fully moved back to Austin?
2008, August of 2008.
Oh, okay.
So
still stuff is like just forming here too.
Yes, exactly. So then it just I signed up to get certified. Yeah. For my sommelier, and I was looking for jobs. I couldn't really find anything, so I thought, okay, I'm probably gonna have to go back in the kitchen. Yeah. And then I just saw a Twin Liquors ad on Craigslist, and the rest is history. What was
the official position with Twin?
I was just a sales associate. I was working out in Bee Caves, which was
before the big store was open.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
I was working out there, and I was just, selling wine to housewives, and it was great.
It, man.
Yeah, it was. I was so happy because came from New York City, like 6 days a week, barely making $400 a week, and like here I am, making probably about the same amount of money. And we're not rich in this industry, but I was like. It was like 8-hour days, 5 days a week, balance, right? And I was just like, it's so nice. I was in, Bee Caves,
that's so
like
nice.
going to this little Vietnamese restaurant down the road. And I was just I'm so happy. And then I started, getting more ambition. I got certified, and I started really getting into wine. I was at Hancock, and I was just teaching, and I was, starting to order there, and I actually kind of was like thinking in my head, like own personal dreams and aspirations, like my own wine bar, or, something like that.
Your own label.
Yeah. Like something. And then Twins come to me like, hey.
Would they? So yeah. What was the offer? What was the?
So it was just like, they saw I was involved. I mean, especially because I started getting really involved with David. Because Tipsy Texan was happening
and
at Hancock.
Mostly facilitated through Hancock, right?
Exactly. And so, like, I saw these, like, the first class, and, I don't know if that's been talked about here, but, like, that, I feel like a lot of, like, the scene of Austin
oh, my goodness.
Started in, like, the Tipsy Texan class.
It was with the minor leagues for the scene.
Yeah.
Those were the bullpens. Seriously.
For sure.
So many people that I've talked to, that I've met, that actually have even been on the show. That's like the record that changed their life,
It did.
It's so cool, man. It's so cool. I get talking to Joe about it and be like, do you realize what you guys were doing?
I don't think they get it. I don't think they get it.
No idea. And that's what makes it the best. Because they had no idea.
That's why I love them.
It's so great.
So I became friends with all these people. And in kind of like in the same sense in the relationship, obviously my relationships are different with them now. I mean, I've become best friends with some of these people. But it always was like, what do you need? Yeah. Like, I got it. So it kind of became like, I was your go-to girl in the retail side, as you have your dealer,
Yeah, my dealer.
So unfortunately I can't be the dealer anymore. I am in a different sense, but with, with 150, people instead of
you are the one
3
that
or 4.
gets things to people that want things.
Yeah.
That's gotta be, how's that feel to be like a nice
It's stressful.
All the demands placed on you. Yeah.
It's stressful, but
what do people ask for a lot? What's the one
right
thing
now
like, that
I can say Pappy
every
day, all day. It hasn't ended.
Are you guys finally out in the warehouse?
We are out of everything but 10 and 12.
Oh, that's still pretty good. 12 is quite nice.
We have 10 and 12.
That's good.
For those listening.
I'll try to post it like this week so that they can get on it really quick.
Yeah, but no, I mean it's been those allocated things are hard because again, it goes back to this industry and we all just want to make people happy. So I know that like
it's a crowd pleaser.
Like and if I disappoint somebody, it kills me. But
So what's your official title now with Twin?
I am a wholesale account manager.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Everybody knows you. Yeah, kind of. A little bit. A little bit.
Maybe it's that Christmas commercial.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, my TV tags you when you show up. It's like, oh yeah. Same thing with Sandra, I'm sure.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, aren't you that elf from the commercial?
God.
Do people, I talked to Billy Hankey a bit about it, and I know he works with Twin quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Is mezcal a call thing too? Like those pappies?
Sure. Oh yeah, bigger than ever now.
Yeah.
I mean, we have two distributors we work closely with that I would say have most of it. Victory and Virtuoso.
Probably, right?
And so, I mean, I kind of love them because where it's like not my decision, that kind of, so, this business is such a relationship.
Yeah.
Like at this side of it, I think that's been the coolest thing. And also sometimes it's hard because, I mean, we're all just there. Everyone just wants to make their business the best that it can be.
Bring their vision to fruition.
And so, and I think the ones that do the best, obviously are the ones that are able to build a relationship.
Yeah.
And so, and that's kind of what I try to do too, is to have as much a relationship with the distributors, because this 3-tiered system is a bitch,
Oh, believe me, I know. And the thing is, the distributors can hold out on you if they want.
Oh,
so it's
exactly.
better to be like.
And they have with some people, so I just try to be as
I keep
cooperative.
fighting with Matt Daniels about shit.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're our distributor. Like, just give me this thing. Like,
Yeah.
So real briefly, like, there's a Nicholas Platzi had this 18-year-old Calvados.
Yeah.
And a 375. I keep hearing wonderful things about it.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, a really heavily aged Calvados from a single day of distillation. Yes, please. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, John. Hey, Matt. Can you secure me a bottle? Pay whatever for it. So Matt holds it for me, and then he drinks it. I was like, damn it, man. He somehow, like, maybe he found me. I don't know. It's so it's just, like, I love it because you never know what's going to end up happening.
You don't. That's the thing. It's like it's gambling or something, And I mean, it really is. Now that I look at it, I mean, like,
it's
this pappy
Vegas,
stuff.
man.
What did you get? What didn't you get? And part of that, I mean, it's a game. It's relationships, but also it's a crapshoot in a way too.
Yeah.
I mean, like there's only so much of this stuff.
How do you prioritize your clients?
Oh gosh,
And no names, right? But like, what is the thing that puts them at the top? Because everybody wants Pappy. And I know that this year especially, hardly any 23 made it in. Hardly any rye 13. Made it in. So how do you set that stuff aside and kind of allocate it?
I mean, for us, it's obviously, I mean, my boss is very behind it. He's looking at numbers. He's looking at, accounts. On our side, on my side, on my other salespeople's side, it's relationship driven. I mean, obviously, it's who's screaming the loudest. It's
I know a couple of people like that.
Yeah,
that would scream quite loud,
and it's and it's also what's good for us, what's good for their bar.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes it can be as much as like, who orders it first.
Right. Which is totally fair. That's the democratic way.
And there was some issues with that this year.
Oh no.
Yeah. That certain people ordered.
Are you the whipping girl for it? Where like if they don't get it, they're gonna yell at you?
Maybe.
A little bit.
No comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so let's look. Yeah. I can't imagine it's an easy spot to be in.
Mm-hmm. It's hard.
It is. But so let's talk about something that was successful and that kind of worked out. So you've picked a mezcal from the collection downstairs on my large rack, my IKEA rack. That is very reasonably priced for those of you who like to shop at IKEA. So I really consider William Scanlon a friend, and I hope that we work more together, and I hope to get him on the show. He has introduced Real Minero, and he has introduced Rey Campiero to the United States. He's done an amazing job getting into New York, getting into California, getting into Texas, and he released lots of stuff. I got the Jabalí, which was available in Texas. just a wonderful mezcal. And I saw Tepestate in California, got that. Tomball in California, got that. He shared these things with me at random points, and you can't get into Texas. So, however, I couldn't find the Araqueño. And I kept looking. I looked everywhere. My industrious gray market fucking self. I looked and looked, and I could not find it. But William, great, just so eloquently and wonderfully located me a bottle. So we are sharing the Real Minero Araqueño. And what is the proof on that guy?
Oh, wow. Where is it at?
I can't remember. It's on the bottom left there.
51.8%.
51.8%. And it's so good.
It's so good. Mezcal is so good.
Man. It is. Well, this one is like exceptional. The fact that he tracked this down for me is...
He's a good man.
I owe him so big. So yes, William, I know you might be someday listening. Hopefully you get on the show. But Jessica and I are both raising a glass of this Araqueño that you've so wonderfully gave to me. Thank you so much, my friend. Likewise. But this is, you drink this and you're like, yeah, that's why I like mezcal.
Yeah. Well, it's and this is like I said, I mean, just as much as Pappy, there's counts. How sup can be, like there's accounts fighting for this stuff just as much. I mean, actually, Chris Bostic never texts me really about Pappy. He texts me about mezcals. So that's where his love lies. You see it, like,
absolutely.
So he'll of course loves the bourbon and the whiskey. Sure,
but know that this is where his heart's at.
Oh yeah.
I mean, apparently he just got back from Kentucky too. So I still think he's mezcal through and through. But again, it kind of goes back to that, like, where is your heart at, and like it's in these bottles. I mean, God. This bottle just makes me fall in love all over again. And I love when mezcal. It's 283 out of 452 made. 452 bottles. I mean, Jesus. What? Yeah. Oh, do I feel privileged? I'm going to tell you right now. I feel very wonderful and lucky to share this moment with you and to share this bottle with you. So thank you for that. So it seems like you're at Twin, you're killing it. People look to you as their dealer. What do you think lies beyond the wholesale bit with Twin? I mean, because I know that at some point you get enough experiences and you're like, I'd like to do something else. Have you thought about that? I think that everybody's maybe, goal in life, I don't know, is to, maybe not everybody's, but maybe in the creative realm of things is to do your own thing. Yeah. And it's tough, by the way. Yeah. And I'm so glad that I did this. I've been doing this almost 3 years now, and I've seen that how much it sucks. Yeah. To be in your own business. Yeah. Hey, wait, who is accountable for the check again? Exactly. Oh, I am. Exactly. Yeah. And I see how hard it is. I mean, I don't know. I miss wine. Yeah. I thought I would I thought my goal one day was be a master sommelier, and I realized that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah. My wine heroes aren't master sommeliers, but, so, I mean, God, I would just love to have a wine shop that only sold rosé and had a couple of cats in it. And, did you say a couple of cats? And then maybe just bubbly, cats, bubbly and rosé wine shop with, I don't know, in an antique, brick building. With the Cure on at all times. I mean, that sounds like the most amazing bar I've never been to, actually. Some cats, some 17 seconds. Yeah. Some brick interior, and some rosé. I think that you should talk to Billy Yankee about that. Because he's a really huge rosé. Maybe that although I'm not sure he's a big Cure fan. Well, I don't know. I don't know that. It's true, but he has a good jukebox. He does. We could figure something out. I think that you're on your way to doing it. Can't be that far out. I feel it too. Yeah. Someday. Maybe so. I still have a while. Yeah. How old are you now? 34. I'm 35 and I'm running out of time. It feels like, the more I analyze life, I'm like, I'm not really sure what do I keep doing this
Yeah.
like this? Because it's
I know. Well, I was talking to an old friend of mine, and she said that I've been talking about how I've been old for the past 14 years.
yes.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll do it when I'm 50, and that's cool too.
It is
I'm
because it's all
totally
about
down
how you
with
feel
that.
mentally. Anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, that might be better. Is to I don't know if I'm ready to slow down just yet, but
I don't think so.
like I don't know if that's slowing down, but
it's
my
hard
own
to say. It's
pace.
only at the day where
Yeah.
it happens where you know that it's the right thing to do.
Right.
Well, so one last thing that I think is really important to note is so for the second year in a row, Michael Sanders, yourself, and I were able to sing the unsung hero of Weezer singles,
Yes.
El Scorcho, at the Punchioke. This was number
This is 3 for me.
3, right? I've been to 3 as well. Yeah. And potentially the last of which we'll get to sing El Scorcho.
Yes, that's
which is
true.
an amazing song. But so this begs the question, it's an underdog of a song and an underdog of a record. When they came to play Stubbs, probably 4 years ago now, you could pick, right? You're like, the Blue Album night or the Pinkerton night? And it was no fucking question to me that I would go for the Pinkerton night because it's one of the greatest records ever made, right? So what's it about El Scorcho that resonates with you?
Oh man, the
you
lyrics.
know how much of a failure that song was, though, right? The song was a failure. The record was a failure in '96. Everything.
He was really
It ruined
Rivers
his life.
Cuomo was like really upset about that. Like
I don't blame him.
I read maybe I want to say at least 3 articles where like he was just pissed ranting about how no one liked El Scorcho.
He went back to school as
Yeah,
a result. That's what people do when they get fired from the deli. Not when they release a record.
Yeah, exactly.
He poured himself in. I think that Weezer was forever changed after that rejection.
Sure.
I don't think it was ever the same.
They were never the same. They started getting this kind of weird comeback in what was that, like the late
like 99,
like
2000,
late
probably.
90s.
The green record.
Yeah,
right?
the green
Rico
record.
Kasich did that one too.
Yeah, exactly. And they started kind of having that, and then like they just kind of. I'm sorry. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was plasticine.
Yeah,
it was just
was
sterile pop
weird.
structure.
I almost feel like he's gonna like on his deathbed say that was like all a joke.
I almost feel like it.
Yeah, I don't know because
he sanded down the ruggedness and the honesty of what
like
he was
Beverly
really
Hills,
feeling.
that Beverly Hills song, and then the last one that came out like
God Loves Girls. Or
and it was like controversial.
It's not controversial, man. And he was on WTF with Mark Maron, and his music reflects how he was in that interview, and that he didn't go deep into any particular
No,
area.
I think he's over it. Like you said, he was a changed man after El Scorcho, and maybe that's why El Scorcho is so great, because it's like it just has this like misery behind it, and
the newness, the awkwardness, and you find this one like real quirky thing. Like Zoe Deschanel has her whole career built on it, right?
Yeah,
like this one kind of crazy thing, and you're like, oh my god, this girl is so amazing because of this one quirky thing, and admitting that on record, and going with it, and
that's what I think El Scorcho kind of drew me. That song, I love the lyrics. I love the lyrics.
Basic.
I asked you to go to the Green Day concert, and you said you never heard of them.
How cool is that? So I went into your room and read your diary. Well, it's a little interesting at that point,
Right. There's a couple of lines in there that are just, I don't know. And it's a little bit, I think, like, you want this girl and you can't get her, So
well, she's like foreign, not literally foreign, but just this foreign object, and you can't quite come to terms with your awkwardness. So you latch onto maybe something that you guys can have in common.
Yep.
It's amazing singing that song. And I feel like at the end of it, where I get to kind of scream a little bit. It's quite nice.
Exactly. As you can tell, like
that
that's when that comes on, and Michael's always like, "We're doing it," and like I'm like always at the beginning of the party, like, "No, we're not. Okay.
We have to."
Like I'm kind of like, okay, like and then like 4 punches in, I'm like,
Done.
done.
Let's do it.
El Scorcho and Man in the Mirror.
Yes.
Let's do it.
I felt like I crashed the party last year doing it, but I am certainly going to sing for my birthday this year, for the holiday party next year if we do karaoke.
Yes.
We just have to keep on keeping on the tradition. We have to do it. We have to.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Anyway, it was brilliant chatting with you, Jessica.
Thank you. This was awesome.
Love sharing the mezcal with you, and it's great to hear about your journey, and I hope that we all keep hanging out, keep drinking, keep talking, keep ideating, as they say. So.
I was nervous, but
it
was awesome.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm such a wiener. I don't really get why people would be nervous. But
it was great.
If anything, I'm flattered. Thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank you.
Well, there we have it, everybody. Sometimes you just have no idea where your life is going to take you. I think that's what makes it exciting. I think that's what makes it riveting. And these are the stories that I like to share with you listening. And Jessica Tantillo Barnard is an amazing personality. I think she hooks us all up with Twin Liquors here in Austin, Texas. Soon to be Houston, expanding into Dallas, San Antonio. A wonderful, wonderful company, great culture, and the people that are involved with Twin are just fucking incredible. So thanks so much for chatting with me, Jessica, and perhaps this is the Christmas gift I can give to all of you. I hope you're enjoying that time with your family, and I hope I catch you next year. Hopefully going to take a trip to San Antonio here in a few weeks so we get to chat with some wonderful personalities in that city as well and see what's going on with the cocktail culture there. But thanks again for listening to Show to V with Mike G. And no matter what sherry you're drinking or which Cure album you're crying to, please keep dancing.